Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually going to be working on a Polaris Ranger 800 XP. So this Polaris Ranger 800 XP has a code P1525. And you can actually find this code without having to use a reader, just by going through the speedometer in the dash and comparing that to the vehicle to be able to find that code. What we're going to be doing today is it says that the idle air control valve terminal 4 circuit is open. Now, sometimes you get multiple codes with this. It'll say terminal 4, terminal 3, terminal 6, and it'll light up all of those saying that those terminals are open. And I want to go ahead and I want to show you how to diagnose this without having to use like check tech software, a can-do scanner, or even Polaris digital wrench, which we have all of that stuff in the shop, but sometimes we like to get back to the basics. And the basics is just using a wiring diagram and a good old meter to be able to meter out, to be able to narrow it down, that if it's the ECU, if it's wiring issues, or if it is the idle air control valve that is bad on the valve body. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive in. We're going to also post a picture of the wiring diagram to tell you where to pin it out at on the ECU and up on the idle air control valve to be able to make sure that your wiring harness is good, because the Polaris Rangers and the Polaris Generals do have an issue with the wiring harnesses, especially the Generals, because of where the wiring harness is in the back, right in front of the wheel, the driver's side wheel. The wiring harness does get kind of messed up there. So we're going to go ahead and go through and pin this out, and I'm also going to post a picture of the wiring diagram in this video for anybody that needs it to be able to try to locate and pin this out, just to check their wiring harness if they're getting these codes as well. After you remove your seat, you're going to also remove this cover panel here, which is going to go ahead and show you where your ECU is. We're going to go ahead and unplug the ECU plug connector from the ECU. Next, we're going to go to the idle air control valve, which is located right here on top of the throttle body, and we're going to unplug that as well. So on the wiring diagram, each one of these rows is numbered, and there's actually a number on the plastic to make sure that you're corresponding, that you're in the correct row and the correct pin. So what we're going to do is we're going to meter out idle air stepper motor 2 control, which is going to be row 25, pin 25, and that's going to be in the 3rd row over. So we have 1 row, 2 row, 3rd row. This is the 4th row, and then of course the 5th row over here. So pin number 25 is going to be the very bottom pin on row 25. So once we put our lead into there, we're going to go to the wiring harness on our stepper motor, and when you see the diagram, you'll be able to orient the plug in the correct location. So then we're going to go to number 3 in that plug. When we go to number 3 in that plug, we're showing an ohms resistance value of 1.0.9, and it's going to, jump around, it's going to move all around, but that shows that we do have a good connection through that wire. So now, for instance, we're going to go over to pin number 1 on the idle air control valve, and that's going to be pin number 37. And 37 is going to be the pin right beside 25. And we're showing an ohms value reading there. So that's showing that our wire is good, that it is making contact, and that it is not open or shorted to ground. So going through a basic wiring harness like this, whenever you have any types of shorts, issues with grounds, or anything like that, basically takes it back to the old school method of reading a wire diagram and being able to troubleshoot it without using an expensive computer system, Polaris digital wrench, or anything like that. Now, the issue that we were having with this is it lit up the, stepper motor number 1, 2, 3, and 4 was all open. So whenever we had that, we went ahead and metered all of the wiring harness, checked the wiring harness from the stepper motor to the ECU. The wiring was good. So we didn't have a broken wire or anything like that. So it was communicating to the ECU, but the stepper motor was actually bad. So we replaced the stepper motor on the idle air control valve, and it's back up and running and working perfectly. So this video here this morning was just to go ahead and show anybody that was having those issues with a Polaris Ranger 800, 900, and they have to meter this out to go ahead and to be able to do it. Like I said, we are putting the wiring harness on how to do that on this video. If you have any issues or problems, find us at Crawlworks Power Sports on Facebook. Send us a message. If you have a machine that you can't find a wiring harness diagram online to be able to do that, contact us, because we can get them for Can-Am, we can get them for Polaris, CF Moto, whatever machine that you have, we can source and get you the wiring harness diagram to go ahead and help you be able to do this on your own at home and be able to make the repair yourself. So again, I hope this video helps you and you can get your machine back up and running. So I hope this video shows you a little bit of how to be able to meter out your wiring harness, because these machines, regardless of what you have, is going to have wiring harness issues just because of the elements and the things that these are driven in, the way that they're driven in. To be able to go through and to be able to meter out your wiring harness, check the ohms, check the values of it to make sure that you have a good contact between point A to point B for the ECU to be able to read that information, to be able to keep the machine running at its optimal performance that it did whenever it came from the factory. Like I said, if you're looking for a specific wiring diagram on a specific thing, if it's the idle air control valve, it's the MAP sensor, it's the IAT sensor, or anything like that, just reach out to us, give us the code, we'll pull up that wiring harness diagram and we'll send it to you. The best way to contact us and talk to us is through our Facebook page, Crawlworks Power Sports, and just send us a message. For some reason, whenever you leave comments or anything like that on the YouTube channel, we're not getting them for several weeks, and the notifications are turned on the YouTube for us to get them on our cell phones, our computers, and everything else, but we're just not getting them for some unknown reason. So if you want to reach out, you want to contact us, ask us any questions or anything about the machines that you have, just go ahead and find us on Facebook, Crawlworks Power Sports, and go ahead and send us a message through there. Until next time, guys, I hope this video helps you out and that you can be able to repair your machine at home so you don't have to take it to the dealer to be able to get fixed.